the mystery of Mount Urraca. Is there a portal there? In the north of the American state of New Mexico, there's a small table mountain called Urraca Mesa, which is associated with many strange stories, legends, and tales. Various tribes of Native Americans settled around this mountain for thousands of years. The Navajo, Apache, Pueblo, also known as the Anasazi, and in the folklore of each of them, the mountain is indicated as a place where strange and frightening things constantly happen. Especially, many stories tell about the sudden mysterious disappearance of the Pueblo tribe several hundred years ago. Even historians still don't know what happened to them. Either they were killed by other tribes or they fled hastily in fear of someone, or in general, there are many hypotheses. But the mystery of Mount Urraca? Shamans say that in those days, on the top of Urraca, a fierce battle took place between people and evil entities from the underworld, and many people died in the battle, including the Anasazi, before the people finally won and drove the spirits back underground and sealed the entrance. Doesn't that sound like what Alexander the Great did with the Nephilim, the entities that he found in the area of China and India? But here, allegedly since then, somewhere on the top of Urraca, there has been a hidden portal to some other world, and it's almost impossible to find it because it's not visible to the average person. But from time to time, something still leaks out from there, legends say. In 2003, the story of a tourist who went alone to the top of Urraca Mesa, pitched a tent there and fell asleep, became popular online. At night, he was awakened by a heavy downpour, and when he looked outside to look at the elements, a completely different and much more frightening sight appeared before his eyes. He saw how a vertical blue line appeared about 3 feet from the ground, which then collapsed like a curtain, and riders on horses jumped out of this portal, quote unquote, looking like classic Indians from the old westerns. The tourist was terribly scared and ran away in panic, leaving all his belongings behind, and then he crashed into a barbed wire cattle fence, was badly injured and nearly bled to death, he said. What happened to those riders later, he did not know. All messages from other curious tourists who dared to climb to the top of Urraca appeared on the network from time to time, and they said that they saw an old Indian shaman there, including sometimes glowing with a blue light or blue balls floating in the air. Michael Connolly's book, Riders in the Sky, Ghosts and Legends of the Philmont Scout Ranch, tells us how a herd of ghostly horses was repeatedly seen in the area of Mount Urraca, and that a Boy Scout disappeared without a trace in the mountains in the 1940s. And since then, tourists have sometimes reported the ghostly silhouette of a boy in a Scout uniform, crying loudly in the evenings and trying to approach their campfire, and when people try to help him, the boy groans, "I can't," and disappears. There have also been reports of sightings of demonic creatures at the top of Urraca, including a pitch-black figure the size of a 7-year-old child who obsessively watches tourists while hiding behind trees. Others claim that they came across strange people in outdated clothes, quote-unquote, I guess you could say time travelers, as well as animals whose appearance did not look quite normal. And there is even an opinion that the portal on Mount Urraca, with a strong energy field, influences the genotype of local animals and plants, changing them, disfiguring, and crippling them. Serious scientists also tried to study Urraca's anomalies. In 1968, geologist F. Leo Misaki came here and found out that there is a lot of iron and magnetite here, which could explain why lightning is so often seen here during thunderstorms, as well as the nature of the mysterious blue glow in the air. However, Misaki ultimately concluded that there is no simple explanation for these geochemical anomalies. On that part of the mountain, which has the shape of a high and almost exactly vertical rock, there are many geoglyphs left there many centuries ago by local Native Americans, and alas, it's impossible to find photos of these drawings on the internet, but it's claimed that some of them depict strange, non-human creatures. This is on Infinity Explorers by Anshu Vastava. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.